Hey y'all, I'm back with a fun little series that I'll do most Tuesdays where I'll just share some tips and tricks for beginning scrapbookers. Now, some of these you might find helpful if you've been scrapbooking for a while, so I'd stay tuned just in case. But some of them, if you've been scrapbooking for years, you may already know about. But I wanted to create these videos specifically for people who are just kind of getting started or finding interest in this area. So the first thing I'm going to share are some ticket shapes, and I'm going to share with you how you can create ticket shapes without using like dies or like a punch. Okay, and I say that and I end up using a punch, but not to actually make the full shape. So lots of people have a hole punch or like a circular punch in their stash, and you can create a ticket shape with just having those items. You actually don't even need a trimmer for this. You can use scissors and just cut the shape to your liking, but I like kind of having a more of a straight look, if that makes sense. So I am not the best scissor user, and so I normally have to actually use a trimmer to get straight edges. So I've cut some rectangular shapes to the size that I want, kind of like a similar in size to a ticket, and then I'm going to share with you quickly a couple of ways to make the shape, the ticket shape. So you'll pick up your rectangular piece and you'll turn the punch over. This is a smaller circular punch. It's about like 1 inch, I believe. And you're simply just going to chomp off the corners. And so I'm not really sure the measurement on that. It's probably a little bit less than like 1/8 of an inch, honestly. And so you can go as far in as you want, depending on the curvature, depending on the amount you want chopped off. I like just a little tiny bit. You can kind of see in each one of these, the amount that I'm taking off is about the same. And the smaller the hole punch, the more curvature you're going to get. But it just really depends on the look. I think they both turned out great, honestly. I would use these 100 times on projects. One thing that I'd like to do is use these as like journaling anchors. So like putting some tiny text words or putting maybe some strip journaling on these and just adding them to a page. These would be great just to have in your stash. If you have a lot of scraps, you can make up a bunch of these ahead of time. This was the way that I did it with the hole punch, which is my preferred way. I really like to use the hole punch because it's super quick and easy, just like the hole punch, just like the circular punch, but you get a little bit more curvature, so it's going to look a little bit more like an actual ticket. I think I had trouble with that last one. I don't think I pushed it down far enough. So there's that one. And so there's my tickets. And then I'm going to move on to sharing with you how I actually create some tags, which this is super fun. So I actually go through a couple of tips on this one. The first thing I'm going to do is just cut rectangular shapes to my liking. Same thing, you can use scissors or you can use a trimmer. It really doesn't matter. I like using a trimmer for straight edges, but it's totally your preference. I'm going to cut probably 3 shapes. I'm just in some different colors. So I wanted to share with you how I actually add the reinforcement part of the tag, which is just a way to kind of step it up a notch, just to show you kind of a different way and a quick way to add a reinforcement where you don't have to use a punch and you don't have to create like your own on the silhouette or something like that. So I'm just going to chomp off the corner just like I did with the scissors. I'm going to take that piece of paper and place it on the other side as kind of a key, and then I'm going to chomp off that same amount using that piece as a key. And if you wanted to create a bunch of these in that same size, you could just continue using that particular one, the one that you've created now, as your actual key. But I'm going to do some different like shaped ones just so that you can kind of see, like some I made a little bit fatter and I chomped off a little bit more on the corner. Some were I like left a little bit skinnier and like more narrow. And so again, you'll chomp off the corner, then you'll use that piece that you chomped off to add to the other side. You'll just turn it over and you'll see how it fits. It's just like a puzzle, fitting it like a puzzle. And then you'll use that as a guide to cut off the rest. So now I'm just punching my hole for the tag. You can leave them as is, but I'm going to step it up a little bit and I'm going to take the reinforcers or reinforcement. I think it's reinforcements. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. It's one or the other. I'll link them down below if I can find them. But I use these a lot whenever I am creating my own tags. If I just want like a quick little look. It took me a second to find those. Sorry, I didn't cut that out. But I use these a lot, especially because they're quick and they're easy and they fit like they're standard. So most hole punches, they're going to fit perfectly. right on top of that punched hole. And so for that one, I'm going to leave white, but I'm actually going to add two because they are a tiny bit translucent. So I'm going to add two, just a little bit more of like an opaque color. Then I'm going to grab my different markers that I have in my stash, and I kind of want to match that blush pink. So I'm going to just kind of I'm going to play around with the colors on that scratch piece of paper, and I'm going to see which one I like the best. And then you'll see me actually color right on top of those reinforcements. And what's nice about them is, so what's nice about using the Copic markers is they blend so well, so it looks like it's totally printed, which is nice. But I even grab one of my, what is it? I forget what they're called, but I think they're Tombow brush markers. I even grabbed that bag to see if I could find potentially a color that matched a little bit better. And I didn't end up finding one that I liked better than the blush, the Copic blush. And so I ended up going with that one. I'm simply going to grab that. I think I tried one more color and I decided I didn't want to go that route. So I grabbed the Copic blush marker and I'm simply going to color right on top of that reinforcement. It just goes on so like butter perfectly. And then I'm going to use two just because, again, they're a little bit translucent. If you like that look, you can keep it. But I end up adding another one just to have more of an opaque pink. And I just love the way that that turned out. I think that turned out so nice. So that's the second tag. For the third tag, I'm actually just going to do, since it's a tone-on-tone green, it's like a mint green pattern on like an aqua green solid color. So essentially I'm going to grab a mint green marker and or the Copic marker, and I'm going to do the same technique as the one before, add those right on top, and then that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did by giving me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more little tips that I use in like my everyday crafting. Talk to you soon.